तमिलनाडु विधानसभा चुनाव AIADMK भारतीय जनता पार्टी मिलकर NDA के नाते लड़ेंगी।
Alliance, I think, will be a bigger step to ensure that the DMK does very well in the coming elections.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening. The BJP is literally on fire. I want to begin the show by helping you look at these pictures and decode what's going on so you understand the story we are talking about. This is the Union Home Minister Amit Shah earlier in the state of Tamil Nadu, along with EPS, and you see Annamalai on the other side. They are holding hands together. It is sealed. The alliance is sealed. On the other side today, many people say is a very, very worried DMK. Stalin is worried. He does not know what will happen. The BJP is on fire. It is a stronger NDA. But the critical question continues to remain, what will MK Stalin do next? Even as we speak, there is a dinner being hosted right now for the Union Home Minister Amit Shah. So you have both the ADMK and the BJP literally breaking bread. We've seen a breakup, but now they are together. And that is how politics continues to move as far as the story is concerned. We welcome you to tonight's electrifying news show. It is official now. You have the ADMK and the BJP that have buried their September 2023 fallout. We all remember this, and people said they will never come back together. But this is what happens, and that is why they say even a week, remember, is a long time in politics. And they today have forged what many are saying is a formidable alliance to literally storm the 2026 Tamil Nadu Assembly elections, sealed by Amit Shah's strategic talks with the ADMK chief, Edappadi Palaniswamy. This NDA powerhouse, remember, now aims to topple MK Stalin. That is the real motive. They want to unseat MK Stalin. And remember, when it is MK Stalin, you have the entire alliance that is called the Secular Progressive Alliance that they have gotten together, and they want this to mirror what's happened in Andhra Pradesh earlier. They won that state. You remember with Chandrababu Naidu? So could the BJP be wanting to do very much the same in Tamil Nadu? Numbers hold the key, vote share holds the key. We'll bring you those numbers and the vote shares also in just a moment. But do remember, Stalin's DMK right now is hitting back. Those numbers already up on your screens. And this tells you that there is just a very narrow margin. You know, the people will also tell you that what happened when you had both the ADMK and the BJP fighting separately, what happened. But what happens in case all of them get together and then it is versus the DMK, then it is versus Stalin? Could things change? For the moment, let me tell you how the DMK has responded. The DMK is hitting back. They say that this is an unnatural alliance. They say that there are anti-BJP sentiments in the state when it comes to issues, and you must remember all these issues. Because whenever there is a Tamil Nadu conversation, there will be issues of delimitation, education, that is the NEP, Hindi position is the charge that they all make, and also not to forget anti-incumbency, youth unemployment that continue to loom large. With the DMK's cadre strength, the ADMK's fight for survival, and BJP's relentless southern push. Though that is a cliche, but this is BJP's relentless southern push. You have Tamil Nadu's political battlefield that is all set ablaze. So tonight what we decide to do is we unpack the stakes involved, the challenges involved, and what really, remember, could be the mega alliance that could mean for the big battle of 2026. And as you'll stay tuned to our broadcast, first up, let's get you our straight questions. The alliance is done, but what does the alliance really mean? What does the alliance mean for Stalin? Is this spelling serious trouble for Stalin? Is he in deep trouble? We'll find that out, and that's our first straight question. This brings us, ladies and gentlemen, to the second question that you will see going up on your screens. How will Stalin be able to counter what many are saying is serious anti-incumbency right now? And there are charges also of corruption, something again that you've heard the Union Home Minister Amit Shah reiterating again vociferously today. How will this really fuel the alliance's narrative? This is still a perception game. We'll find that out also soon. This brings us to our third question. Now, do remember you have the BJP and the ADMK going in together. Many are asking why. And if you had to get in together, why did you split? So that's a question we'll ask to both the representatives that will be on the show in just a moment. But is this plain, simple, pragmatic? Are they just being very, very practical? And what about their ideological clashes? Because we've seen the ADMK not agreeing with many stances the BJP takes and vice versa. So how will the two meet is an important issue to look at. This brings us to our fourth straight question that after failing separately, remember in 2024 in the Lok Sabha election, and that's exactly what I alluded to in a little while earlier, can the BJP and the ADMK together, can they dent the DMK's vote share? The numbers say there is a chance, but what about chemistry? What about the narratives that could be played out? What could be the core issues? What could be the vote transfer that could also happen? These are clearly issues that no one knows anything about. But this brings us to our final straight question. Ladies and gentlemen, and this is important because many people say that, look, BJP is a Delhi-centric party. BJP is a party that belongs to Northern India. And is the BJP then leaning on ADMK's regional clout to finally break into Tamil Nadu? A state that they have been working really hard on, a state that they really want to secure, a state with 39 seats. When it comes to the big Lok Sabha battle, it's a big state. It's a big state that we've seen a lot of push for. To understand the story far better, we'll also now get into Newsnight's deep dive that will help you understand how are the numbers stacked, what are the stakes involved, and what are the challenges. So if you're wondering, and you must wonder that why is this patch-up happening now? Why is the timing so important? So on your screens, that's the first question we are trying to answer. Why this patch-up ahead of polls? Remember, the first obvious answer has to be the fact that both the ADMK and the BJP want to halt the DMK's second consecutive term plan because they have that plan. And the BJP, the ADMK both want to ensure that that does not happen. This brings us to our second factor that's going to go up on your screens to help you understand again why this tie-up today is important, and keep looking at these pictures also of the alliance that has happened and the moment you have seen that alliance being announced. Now, the ADMK, we accept this or not, the party will tell you no, there is nothing like this, but they are struggling. They are literally struggling electorally since Jayalalitha's death. Because Jayalalitha had an iron fist on the party, and as long as she was there, you had seen a very robust governance. But after her demise, you've seen a split in the party, and there is a serious concern of what could happen, what is the future. So this is for survival. This brings us to our next important factor again that's going to go up here on your screens. Remember, the DMK swept the Lok Sabha polls when both fought separately, and that is why in case you have both the ADMK and the BJP coming together, could that change the dynamics? Is that the only way to beat the DMK? The BJP thinks absolutely yes. So let's go for it. This is a more practical approach. This brings us to our next answer to that question, why the patch-up? Remember, the ADMK had been attempting to ally also with the left, with the VCK or Vijay's TVK party, but that has failed. So that did not happen. But now with the BJP coming together with the ADMK, will you have a lot of these small but important players also getting together? Could this be an even bigger and a stronger NDA? We do not know, but the answer is most likely. And in case that happens, how will the story move from here? How will electoral fortunes change? The BJP clearly is aiming to increase the footprint in Tamil Nadu. It has nothing to lose. Its vote share has only gone up. And that is why the BJP this time has gone ahead again. And like they say, they've swallowed the bitter pill, but they've gone ahead with the ADMK. And there has been a lot of, like they say in Hindi, a lot of tu-tu meme that you've seen mudslinging happening between both sides. But in spite of that, together, they also believe that they can target the DMK on issue of corruption. Corruption, an important point, but will they be able to build that narrative to say that this is a corrupt DMK and we as in the alliance is the only option for people to be able to get rid of corruption? They think that they possibly can try to do that. And like I said, a lot of numbers will continue to be on your screens to help you understand what has been the assembly vote share, the seat share when it comes to the last assembly elections. But let's quickly open this up also with our panel of guests joining us, because it's important to understand where do different players, where do different political parties stand on this entire issue. And it's a pleasure to have a panel which is represented today by all political parties, all players here. We have Lakshmi Ramchandran, spokesperson of the Congress, Dr. Saeed Hafiz, who's representing the DMK on the panel, Dr. S.G. Surya, who's the State Secretary of the Tamil Nadu BJP with us, Kovai Satyan is representing the ADMK on the show, and Amitabh Tiwari is a political strategist, but he'll give us the big picture here. Amitabh, thank you so much also for your time. Let's begin by asking the BJP and Dr. S.G. Surya here, why did you need to do this? There is a cost involved. Annamalai has been sidelined. And the charge on you is also, sir, that you have decided to look in for your short-term goal of winning an election rather than looking at your long-term growth. Are you paying a price here?
Absolutely not. Nobody is sidelined here. You would have seen Home Minister Shri Amit Shah's tweet about Annamalai getting a bigger national position which will be leveraged throughout the country. His organization skills. Keeping that apart, short-term, long-term, beyond that. Today, it has come to a situation that we want DMK to be dislodged from power. Every single day, you see murders, law and order problem, usage of drugs in schools, government schools falling apart day by day in every city. There has been absolute chaos in Tamil Nadu. The assembly session is running and you have 60 murders already happening. Just during the assembly session, the law and order is at its worst. Nobody is talking about any of this.
Interesting,
Today,
Mr. Surya, that you're talking of law and order and
Nadu
corruption. But tell me something, and Kovai is listening into you very intently here. Let me get in Kovai also quickly. Kovai, the other day when you were on the show on Newsnight, and I asked you that are you ready for an alliance with the BJP? You obviously didn't say yes, but people know that you were also under a lot of compulsion. Because the buzz is that had you not gone ahead for this alliance, you also know that the party would not have survived. So you are doing this for your political survival.
The electoral alliances are not based on ideology. Let's make this very clear.
You're saying this is not based on ideology?
Definitely not. If
Absolutely not. No ideology here.
No, if that to be similar in ideology, why should there be two different political parties? So let's
what
make it very clear.
What happens to the very contentious issue of the NEP? What happens to delimitation? What happens to WAQF? And I must tell our viewers, Kovai, that just about a week ago, you as in the ADMK has voted against the WAQF. That is the position that you have taken, and that is why people say a week is a long time in politics. No position, no ideology, because the idea is to save your party and somehow come to power.
I think you can give me some time so that your narration can start after I respond. It is not a matter of saving our party. Probably you might not aware about the might of AIADMK. No political party has experienced a dual leadership model wherein we had a dual leadership model.
So why do you need the BJP? If the ADMK is strong enough, why do you need the BJP, Kovai?
Ma'am, would you please allow me to complete? Else I can remain silent. You can finish your questions.
Yes.
This is not the way to interpret and ask questions.
No. We've heard all that. I want to know today why have you decided to go with the BJP?
Let me respond.
Yes.
Have some patience. You are the anchor. Let's have some patience, please. 2019, we had 18%. With the subsequent assembly elections in 2 years, our vote share went to 33%. We were seeking the term for the third time. Nowhere in the history of Tamil Nadu, one could form a government thrice except our founder leader, MGR. DMK has never won a back-to-back elections. With dual leadership, with less than 2 years of the Lok Sabha, wherein we were washed out, we increased our vote share from 18 to 33. Now we are on the recourse of single leadership. We increased our vote share from 18% to 21.3%, which is a sign of acknowledgement for single leadership. So AIADMK on its might have contested alone. Unlike our principal opponent DMK, they have to be dependent on an ally. Now the myth, what is surrounding in Tamil Nadu, that AIADMK party is an untouchable party as marked by my principal opposition DMK. That myth is busted now. MK Stalin so much rattled with this. This is a sign of a grand ally as promised by our leader. We are ideologically different.
See,
we will stand
Kovai,
for what is right for the state and for the people.
SG Surya is smiling right now, and I'm also told that we have the first response that has come in from the Prime Minister on the entire alliance. And look at what the Prime Minister says. He says stronger together, united towards Tamil Nadu's progress. Then he goes on to speak about the fact that he is glad that the ADMK has joined the NDA family. Together with the other NDA partners, he says, we will take Tamil Nadu to greater heights of progress and serve the state diligently. He continues to say, we will ensure a government that fulfills the vision of great MGR and Jayalalitha ji. The last bit is about Tamil Nadu's progress and also saying corruption, divisive DMK is uprooted at the earliest, which our alliance will do. So, Kovai, so much for ideology. You've made it clear. You've made it clear that you are strong. There is no ideology, Kovai, but you haven't answered my question before I get in the other panelist.
30 seconds. Listen. 30 seconds.
Yes.
We were an ally with BJP. The Kaveri Water Tribunal was not formed. We stalled the parliament for 22 days despite we being an ally with BJP and ensured that the tribunal was formed. Nowhere in India you get to see a 7.5% internal reservation and a protected agricultural zone apart from Tamil Nadu. This took place only because of our alliance. So our idea is to bring it good for the people of Tamil Nadu.
No, don't tell me this is for the good of the people of Tamil Nadu. No, Netas come on the show. Mr. Surya also knows this is not for the good of anyone. This is for your own personal good. Now, I'm so tempted to ask Kovai the next question, Kovai, but I want to go to the DMK and the Congress also, and then Amitabh also for the big picture. First, quickly. Now, Syed Hafiz, tell me something. If you just look at the numbers, and we'll put out the numbers, the truth is you also know in your heart that the moment you have the ADMK, the BJP coming together, and then perhaps, you know, the DMDK coming in together, the VCK and a lot of other smaller parties, this could be Stalin versus the rest. There is anti-incumbency. There are charges of corruption. Don't forget the Sanatan slander. How will you deal with all this?
First of all, this alliance is an opportunistic alliance against the interests of the ADMK cadres and the state at large. That's my primary point. Second point, okay, the charges of corruption are against the DMK, put by whom? 8 ministers of the ADMK are facing corruption charges and the governor is protecting them. How will the public see it? Who is throwing an allegation of corruption on DMK? A party which has 8 ministers facing the same allegation. How will the public see it? Not very far away, long ago, the BJP president said that I have a ADMK files which I will release soon. So will this not be hypocritical on the part of both the parties to say that they have joined together for corruption? It is ADMK.
No, that is their problem. That is their problem, Hafiz. You know, they will respond to this. I want to know about MK Stalin. You people have called this an unnatural alliance. But if you look at the numbers and if you look at this vote share that's playing out on our screens, the numbers could hold a problem for you, right?
I will tell you, wait. It the same alliance, it is the same grand alliance which is supposed to be formed, was the same during 2021. How did they lose? We are not at power. NDA 2019 BJP was at its peak nationally. They had so much power and they faced an election in 2021. We still won. So the ground is that the BJP is continuing to do the lot of schemes that are against the interests of the state from not giving.
But the Prime Minister says, Hafiz, it's important to uproot a corrupt DMK. Let me quickly get in Mr. Surya because he's wanting to come in here. 10 seconds, Mr. Surya.
I will tell you simple arithmetic. In the year 2021, in spite of 10 years ADMK rule, our alliance lost with the margin of just 2 lakh votes. It was that close the election after 10 years of ruling here. So DMK is obviously scared of this alliance because you have new players here. In 2021, DMK was the opposition party. Today, they are the ruling party. They have the anti-incumbency. You have new players coming in. If we just retain the votes that we had got in 2021, we are clearly coming to power. And
but
that's
how
why
are you sure, Mr. Surya, that the ADMK voter will trust the BJP and vote for the BJP? No, the vote transfer is also a challenge.
They will trust.
The vote transfer is a challenge. So why today is not saying anything because he doesn't have options. Let me also quickly get in the Congress. Yes. Let me get in Lakshmi, who's been very patiently waiting for her turn. Now, Lakshmi, are you feeling left out? Are you feeling left out? I mean, where is the Congress in this entire saga?
I mean, this announcement today of the alliance between BJP and ADMK just further confirms the victory of the DMK-led India parties in the coming elections. I'll tell you one thing. Whenever BJP joins any party, it has a negative effect on the vote share of that party in Tamil Nadu. That has been the trend. So until the ADMK has surrendered to BJP, they have been made puppets and they have been made to surrender. It's a suicidal act. We know what happened to regional parties like
A party which cannot have a state leader of its own. A party hopper, four-party
Guys,
hopper is
why
going
not
to
just
be
let
state
the
president of
Congress at
Congress.
least
Coalition
survive?
government,
They
coalition
are
government
saying you're
cannot be
running scared.
accepted
They are
in
saying
Tamil
you're
Nadu.
running scared. You're not letting us speak. At least extend her that
We know
courtesy.
what
Let her
happened.
complete her point. Yes, Lakshmi.
Mr. Jay Kumar, minister, who was a minister in the ADMK government, he clearly explained how he lost because of the alliance with the BJP. He lost a major chunk of his votes in his constituency. You know, he was a 5-time or 6-time MLA, and then he lost because of the alliance, because some 60,000 or 70,000 voters of the minority community refused to vote because they were in alliance with the BJP. That is the effect that
No,
an alliance
but
with the
Lakshmi, I want to ask you a very pointed question that a lot of our viewers would also be interested in. See, the Congress for the longest time has been saying, oh what, so what if we are swept away in the north of the country, but the south is still voting for us. If you look at the vote share, and we'll put out that graphic again on our screens, I mean, do you believe that that is a respectable number for the Congress to be holding that % of the vote share? You remained silent on the entire Sanatan controversy. You're silent on these alleged corruption charges. Do you think people are not watching this, Lakshmi?
There are corruption charges made against any ruling party in every state. Now, let me talk about the Congress's vote share. We have clearly said that DMK is the major partner in this alliance in Tamil Nadu. I mean, this is, clearly, it is acceptable to us. If you take
you are ready to be a junior partner and also telling me that corruption is normalized. Interesting takeaways.
May I comment?
Yes,
No,
interesting
it's an
takeaways. I
allegation.
want to get
It's
an
an
Amitabh
allegation.
quickly before I come to all of you for
It's
your
not
second points.
normalized.
Yeah. 1 second. Hafiz, Kovai, give me just about 30 seconds.
No,
I want to
10
get an
seconds,
Amitabh.
not more than that. 10
Amitabh,
seconds.
what is the big picture? See, there are two big important elections next year. One is Bengal, the other is Tamil Nadu. Both are states right now not ruled by the BJP, but the BJP desperately wants both these states. Now, considering, Amitabh, what has happened today in Tamil Nadu, do you see that a possibility? Can the BJP, can the NDA win the state of Tamil Nadu?
See, Tamil Nadu clearly has a history of throwing out incumbent governments every 5 years. The AIADMK was able to break the trend in 2016. So the trend favors the alliance in that sense. See, EPS clearly has emerged as the natural leader of AIADMK. And BJP perhaps realized that they were backing the wrong horses in OPS and the Sasikala faction. Now this alliance is going to continue or has projected EPS as the CM face of the alliance. That's a big victory for EPS in the leadership battle which he has had in the last 4 to 5 years. Now, of course, the two alliances fighting separately in 2024 led to DMK sweeping the polls. But hypothetically, if they had contested together, they could have won around 15 of the 39 seats. 15 of the 39, whereas the DMK had swept 39, or the DMK alliance had won all the 39 seats. In terms of assembly segments also, if you see, the DMK alliance was leading in 210 plus seats. And the AIADMK BJP in only 13. Had they contested together, they could have led in 84 seats. So this election is like the election in Telangana or in Andhra or even in Delhi, where 6 months or 1 year before the elections, the incumbent party is seen as the party which is favorite to win the polls. But a lot of time is left. Tamil Nadu elections is a game of alliances. AIADMK, if you see the vote share historically, is a stronger party than the DMK.
Yes, we'll put that vote share back as Amitabh is making a reference to this.
Better alliances.
Yes. I think
DMK
Amitabh
has
is making a
better
fair point, and I think all political parties, Amitabh, in their heart are aware of this. So what if, Mr. Saeed is not accepting this, Kovai is saying, oh, we are strong enough, and the Congress does not care because the Congress is like, we are a junior partner to the DMK, they've accepted this. But there are serious questions that are still being raised because time is limited. So I'll just request all our panelists to take about 20 seconds as they close their comments on the show. Kovai, to you first. Will you be able to convince your voter? You have a large stronghold, particularly in rural Tamil Nadu. Will you be able to convince them on why you want to align with the BJP? And this is not because you're going weak. What is your stand on NEP, on delimitation, federalism, and a lot of other charges?
To start with, there are two common points with ADMK and BJP. One is ruling out dynasty. What's happening in Tamil Nadu is dynasty rule in the name of democracy. That is not good for the state of Tamil Nadu. One family cannot call the shots in both the party as well as in the affairs, government affairs. And second is corruption. We have a minister who doesn't go to secretariat every Monday. He goes and signs for a bail application. And a couple of other ministers' portfolio are hanging on a thread with the court verdicts, which is expected anytime soon. So the corruption and this dynasty is costing Tamil Nadu big.
Okay.
Apart from the borrowings, apart from the incompetence of the entire governance led by MK Stalin.
Okay,
So
let me get in Mr. Surya now. Mr. Surya, before the DMK and the Congress come in. Now, Mr. Surya, you know that you have nothing to lose. If it is a loss, it's going to be for the ADMK, but the BJP, the NDA will only come stronger. What about the other small regional players? Are you already in talks with them to have the super NDA versus Stalin?
Of course, you just include the parties that were in both of our alliances during the 2024. It becomes a major alliance. And obviously, DMK is scared. Mr. Stalin, he was wanting this alliance not to happen. That is why he was repeatedly provoking both the parties. Now that the alliance has been made, he is completely shunned and we don't listen
is
to
Stalin
him at all.
worried? Is Stalin
yes,
worried?
Of course he is worried. Of course he is worried.
Said
He knows
Hafiz, is
the
Stalin
ground.
worried tonight? Is he a worried man? Worried chief minister? Hafiz, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now. No, we are not at all worried. As we said, the alliance between the BJP and ADMK is going to favor us in a lot of ways because BJP is seen as a party which is against the interests of Tamil Nadu. Anybody allying with such a party will have a negative impact on them. Now it is definitely DMK as a party which will stand for the state right and a party which is and an alliance which is against the state right, which is against the state autonomy. So this is the election battle that is going to happen. And
all right,
always
Lakshmi, what is it for the Congress? Is the Congress happy just with a 4% vote share? You're pretty happy with that?
See, we know our strength and please understand that Tamil Nadu voters cannot be fooled. You make a hypocritical, opportunistic alliance just 6 months before an election, and if you can suddenly bury all the differences that the two parties had, it's not that people are...
Don't be interrupting.
Okay. We can't have everyone talking over each other. Time is gone, but Amitabh, your last 10 seconds. Amitabh, your last 10 seconds.
Give the other chance to have their view.
Okay, let the politicians temper down, Amitabh. Take the last 10 seconds.
Clearly there is some natural anti-incumbency that DMK also realizes. That's why they have latched onto this language imposition and the delimitation issue. Now we have to see whether this alliance, AIADMK plus BJP, can raise the local issues, taking benefit of the history of trend of throwing incumbent governments and give a tough fight to this DMK Congress
alliance. All right, I have completely run out of time. Lakshmi and all gentlemen, thank you so much. Let's also quickly deliver what we call News Night's spotting shot. Remember, the ADMK-BJP alliance, ladies and gentlemen, has set Tamil Nadu's political stage literally on fire, with the DMK slamming this as an unnatural alliance for MK Stalin, the Dravidian poster boy. This is the ultimate backyard challenge. You have a consolidated opposition, as you've just heard the BJP saying, we are putting that together, that is aiming to actually shatter DMK's claim as a sole fortress against BJP's national tide. But what if the DMDK, the PMK, also join this mega coalition? If that happens, could this be trouble for Stalin? The 2026 elections could actually redefine Tamil Nadu's future. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching. What we can tell you is that Stalin, ladies and gentlemen, has a rock-solid fight on his hands. We'll have to see how that fight goes on from here. Until next time, good night.